Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Nicholas Malson, and welcome back to another episode of my podcast where you and I will hopefully smile once again. If this is your first visit, welcome, and if you are a returning listener, welcome back. Always a pleasure to see you all. I hope you have all been doing well. Before beginning this episode, I would like to say a couple of things as per usual. First of all, once again, thank you to Anchor.fm for distributing this episode as well as other episodes with no particular problems. This episode as well as the others are available on such platforms as Spotify, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Radio Public, and Pocket Casts. As well as YouTube. However, I am publishing episodes on YouTube manually for now. And also, if you want to contact me or socialize with me, and if I want to socialize with you as well, then YouTube is the best place to go with that one. Either leave a comment on the videos or send me an email, which is smileonceagainpodcast@gmail.com. That's smileonceagainpodcast@gmail.com. And also, the channel's name is Smile Once Again Podcast with the same logo you have most likely seen in another platform. With that being said, welcome back. I would like to firstly apologize for the absence. I have thought that it will be possible to release an episode on a weekly basis despite my absence. However, it wasn't possible. I also thought I would have something to talk about on previous week or about 2 weeks ago now. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit lost in time. But sadly, it wasn't the case. I was a little bit, stressed out because I had a trip that I was preparing for. And nowadays, traveling is a little bit more challenging because of a you-know-what. And, I was not sure exactly how things are going to work out. And just waiting for a go-ahead was a bit of a nightmare as well. Not a big fan of anticipation. But good news is I was able to do what I wanted to do. So basically the reason why I was absent was because I was visiting my mom. I was traveling to a place called Switzerland. And this country is absolutely beautiful. I have enjoyed the traveling so much. It was so great. It was so fulfilling. I have visited lots of places. I have restored my passion to long walks. I love long walks, but I haven't been doing them for a while because of this routine of work, home. And I just simply couldn't find enough time to get back to them. But that trip definitely helped me to come back to it. And I was doing at least 10,000 steps each day, although there were some days where we didn't do that, but that's fine, it happens. But mostly I was following the target, and I was actually overachieving it by at least, well, according to statistics on my phone, by at least 40%. So it will be either 14,000 steps, anywhere going to 16,000 steps. So it really was an amazing opportunity for me just to walk around, enjoying the fresh alpine air, and enjoying the company of my family, and just basically having a good time. If you're interested, I can share some pictures. I have really nice pictures I have taken, but it will most likely be available on YouTube because after all, this is a podcast, but most platforms don't accept the video formats. So basically, YouTube will be the best place to share it with you. I may release it as an exclusive episode, or not an exclusive episode, but just like a standard episode, which will be more visually interactive rather than just an audio log or an audio podcast, if you know what I'm saying. So that kind of stuff. Um, and yeah, that was an amazing trip. So it was 10 days. Just visited lots of places. It was fun. It was a really fun time. So of course, because of that, I didn't have much time to record anything. Although now I'm thinking that it would actually be cool if I was just recording audio logs during my travel. But the problem is that if I was doing that, I would just not spend enough time with my family, my mom, and it would just basically ruin the experience for me. So I just wanted to take a break, spend time with family, and yeah, that would be nice. And it was nice. Um, so what came out of this trip is just the fact that breaking from routine, um, and just doing what you wanted to do, definitely gives you um, an opportunity to rejuvenate, to refresh yourself, and just simply have a good time. And sometimes we as humans we do need to do that because otherwise you would just you would lose your mind, you would burn out, and it's certainly not a good thing to experience. So this trip certainly was kind of like a rare opportunity for me because obviously you have to work and like the amount of vacation is limited, but that's perfectly normal. You have to do what you have to do in order to live and survive. But you can use this vacation that you have as an opportunity to just do something completely different. But you don't necessarily have to travel. Um, if you just do something different during this time out, then you will most certainly feel different. You will feel better. You will feel rejuvenated. Um, and also, we have been talking about this on multiple episodes, including the special one which I have recorded with Michael. Um, that traveling is a very special thing and a very special hobby to kind of spend your time on, uh, and you can enjoy lots of new experiences. Also, a quick thing about Switzerland. As I was saying, the country itself is absolutely beautiful. It's in the mountains, and there are lots of fantastic views that I have managed to enjoy. Although the last couple of days they were quite rainy, so we managed to see the things we want to see just in time before the weather has become worse. So we just had to keep an eye on time and make sure that we managed to get things done before the rain has hit. So it was an interesting thing to experience. And also, there's this dish, the Swiss dish, and I'm pretty sure most of you are already aware about, but if you're not, I will talk about it now. It's called raclette. Well, raclette is not really about the dish, it's about the situation itself. So, what it essentially is you gather in a group, and there's this like machine. I will just call it raclette maker because I'm not entirely sure if there's like an actual name for this equipment, but it basically helps you make a raclette. But raclette is essentially melted cheese with some potatoes, onions, pickles, and some of the meats like maybe bacon, ham, and something similar to that. And what it basically is that it's more like a social gathering. Like you can, like the food itself is pretty basic. Like you use the raclette maker to melt the cheese, to heat up the meats, like bacon, ham, etc., etc. Pickles and onions don't necessarily need that much of a attention. You just have them as they are, but it's all about just actually talking to each other. And whilst you're talking to each other, you just you put the cheese for melting, you put the meats for frying or heating up, and then you enjoy it. But yeah, but you just talk about things, and it can take about it can take up to like hours until you actually finish with it. And yeah, essentially it's just that. And raclette is really an amazing thing to actually, not eat, but more like do, because as I've said, raclette is more of a social gathering rather than the dish itself. Although, if you are actually having a raclette, outside, if you're going to those booths and such, they do just serve you like a portion of melted cheese with some vegetables and meat. Um, and, that's a bit of a different thing. So, the best way to enjoy a raclette is by having an actual raclette maker. And also, it is worth enjoying it with someone, and the more people, the merrier, I guess. But of course, you will have to make sure you have enough dishes, or enough food for everyone. Otherwise, the food will just run out very quickly, and that's it. Like, when the food is done, then pretty much a raclette maker is not really useful at this stage. But yeah, it's a very delicious dish. Well, event rather. So definitely try and enjoy it. And yeah, make sure you've got a raclette maker and enough food and people to enjoy it with. So yeah, that's pretty much that. But overall, it was a great trip. I can talk about it more if you want. Let me know. As I've said, YouTube's the best place to contact me. And if you're interested about it, let me know. I want to use this opportunity to thank you for your support from the special episode. In case if you haven't heard it, me and my amazing friend Michael, we have created this very long, an hour and a half episode. So we just talked about lots of things, and we had an amazing conversation, and it was a fantastic experience. We have managed to just have a very nice fluent discussion, so there wasn't like many interruptions. Like we just talked, and Michael had lots of really interesting perspectives, and I would definitely recommend you to just give it a listen. It's the 10th episode of my podcast, and it is available on all the platforms mentioned before, so hopefully you will be able to just listen to it and enjoy it. But keep in mind, it's a much longer episode than my usual episodes. So instead of like half an hour, it's an hour and a half. So that kind of stuff. And I personally enjoy doing that. So what I'm gonna try and do from now on is in like not so frequently, but if possible, I will try and invite some guests, or if you would like to be the guest, please let me know. And there will be some nice things that we can talk about, or if you have anything that you want to talk about to make people smile, definitely give me a shout, and we will definitely arrange something, so it will be a very nice conversation that we hopefully will have. I also do have some other plans. I may be able to perform in order to change some things in the podcast itself. But I think I've mentioned this before, so I'm not going to repeat myself again. But hopefully it will happen throughout the next year, more or less. But yeah, let's see how things are going to go with that. Also, you may have noticed that I had to pause in a couple of bits, so do apologize if you have noticed that as well. Also, just heads up, I feel much better. My voice definitely should sound much better now. But yeah, I had this sore throat and a bit of a cold, but thankfully it wasn't what, so it was good. So I was all clear. And so definitely feel much better. So definitely winter has affected me in some way, but the weather where I'm in right now definitely doesn't look like a winter one. It definitely still feels and looks like autumn. So no snow, nothing. So it needed some time to recover, and I did. So that's absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, it feels like this episode may not be long as well. But last thing I wanted to mention is, well, first things first, just in case if you're interested, by the time I'm recording this, it's the 30th of December 2021. It's nearing 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And the reason why I'm saying this is that in a day or so, we are gonna go to the next year. It's gonna be the year 2022. And it's quite unbelievable. Just saying this made me feel a bit weird. My head just felt a bit heavier for a moment, but here we are. Another year is going by. We still keep going as a humanity, as humans. And yeah, it's been a very, very strange year, just for me alone, but I'm pretty sure you guys have been experiencing some strange events, or just the year itself has been quite unusual. I would describe this year as the year of uncertainty, because at this stage it's very it's very difficult to understand what is actually going to happen in the future, because earlier, even the last decade, the 2010s, there was at least some kind of consistency going on. There definitely was like a technological advancements, and there were new things coming up, and there was, it was certain what is actually happening, and like how the humans are changing. But now with the hitting us at this stage 2 years ago, now we're not entirely sure what is going to happen, whether or not we will be enjoying the freedom we used to before, and how people are actually going to act nowadays, and will we actually get out of the what. But let's keep our spirits up and hope for the better future, because everything must come to an end at some point. And this whole situation has been going on for quite a while, but I'm pretty certain that we are approaching the end of this, and we will hopefully come back to the normal lifestyles, and we will be able to enjoy ourselves the way we used to. But it will definitely be, I'm gonna have to describe it as it is, the post-COVID world. But let's just hope that we can still remain as the human beings that will still be able to just stop this divide and conquer thing, and we can just simply just enjoy the life that we have, because this whole dividing and conflict has been going on for so long that I'm pretty sure everyone is tired of it, and we just can focus on ourselves and just become the better versions of ourselves, because when we start from ourselves, then the change around us will start happening, because we are the bringers of change, but in order for us to do the change, we must change ourselves, which is why it is always important to make sure that you know what you're doing, you know how to treat yourself, how to take care of yourself, and how to be in good spirits. So what I'm trying to say is that we can and must most certainly leave this year behind and start the new year with a completely fresh start. Just basically take better care of ourselves, and after we got that sorted, we can just take a better care of the others. We must stop conflicting because of something that we have no control of. We must make sure that we treat the way we want to be treated, and we need to make sure that that we actually have an idea of what needs to be done. So, what I want to wish to all of you before the year ends is more clarity and certainty of the future. I want to wish you strength, both mental and physical, to go through what is coming next. And I want to wish you all the very best, the strongest of healths, the endless happiness, the strongest love, and hopefully, just I want to wish you an inspiration. I think inspiration is definitely something that we've been lacking. When you get inspired, you will then understand what you actually want in your life. And with this inspiration, you will be going forward, and everything will be okay. I think this is what my perspective on it is. So, with that being said, even though this episode may be a little bit shorter than the others, I want to end this episode by wishing you a happy new year. Let the year 2022 be your best year. And let's hope that there will be no more obstacles. Let us enjoy the life to the fullest. And let's just hope that it is not too late for us. My name is Nicholas Malson. This has been Smile Once Again podcast. Keep on smiling. You are an amazing person if you're hearing this. You will go through this. You will have a fantastic new year. You will be happy. You will enjoy yourself. Take good care. Happy New Year. And I will hopefully speak to you next week, which will be next year. Goodbye.